to start a business? Do you have the fear of failure? Are you a homemaker and you want to start something small or medium-sized business and have financial independence? Then stay tuned. Here is a story of young women who gets married, moves to Australia as a migrant. She faces a lot of challenges there, but had this leap of faith. She challenged herself, and today she is a business owner of a new venture, New Life by Design. She is a lifestyle design consultant. She's an author. She's a speaker. She is on some radio shows and she is on podcast. So I would like to welcome Marwa Rida from Australia. Marwa, welcome to this conversation. It's an honor to have you here today.
Thank you so much, Bhavani, for the beautiful introduction. It's great to be here on your show today.
You're most welcome, Marwa. So Marwa, I want to start asking you by what were your struggles as a migrant woman in a new country and a new entrepreneur in a new space that is in Australia. So can you share your story?
Yes, my struggle as a migrant and as a woman in business and entrepreneur was actually establishing myself in business in a country where I knew no one. So I moved from Cairo to Canberra, one of Australia's smallest cities, and started my life in Canberra. My only family member was my husband, who worked full-time. And of course, for me to break into the workforce, that took a lot of time and effort because all my experience was from overseas. So after working in the Australian workforce for a while in various roles, I decided to take the leap of faith and start my own business, not having background in business, and also not having any immediate family around to help me. So I knew some people, I had some friends, but that was about it. And so that took a lot of courage and a lot of belief in an idea that I put out to the world, an idea that I created out of a passion and a vision to connect people and to actually get mothers, especially, to celebrate their children. That's how I kicked off my first business. And from there came my second business. So yes, it's been a journey, and it all starts with believing in yourself and believing in your vision and having a purpose.
Normally when people start something, they always have this, like, we're going to fail, are we going to make this business successful and all of that, right? How did you overcome and how did you stand out?
Failure is something that should push you to achieve. If you don't fear failure, then you basically don't care. So every entrepreneur you'd ask will tell you they have the fear of failure if they're pushing any new idea to the world. So it's about overcoming this fear and just pushing through and believing in yourself. As I mentioned, the biggest part is belief that you can do this, and working on yourself, working on those limiting beliefs that are stopping you from pushing your idea to the world, especially if you know that your idea is needed by others.
So what are the key elements that you would like to tell people who are planning to start a business?
Just do it. That's my motto, just do it. Obviously, you've got to do some research beforehand, think of who your ideal audience is, and create your services to serve your ideal audience, and know that you will fall along the way. So every time you fall, just keep getting up and getting back on the horse, if we might call it, and just keep pushing through, because you are needed. We all are needed to serve others in some way or form.
So not everyone in the business will have a same kind of day, or I would say the balance every day, right? Every day for them is going to be different. So what do you have to say for the entrepreneurs as to how they can balance things out?
In entrepreneurship, balance is hard to maintain for everyone, but it actually starts by having a routine. So having a routine for your day to flow is the best way you can maintain balance. So making time for yourself, the business owner, because you matter. If your health is not, if you're not working, like your health is not well, and your mindset is not in the right space because you haven't given yourself the time to look after yourself, then your business will struggle. So you basically need to start by looking after yourself every morning, and basically balance your day out in a way that there's time for you, time for the business, time for your family, and time for something you enjoy.
Other thing that I want to talk about is the mindset change, because you brought that point, mindset. How important is for the people to change that mindset? Because one of the thing is people losing jobs as well today. So do you think people have to bring their creativity out, their passion out? What is it that you have to say?
When you're moving from corporate work, for example, working for someone to working for yourself, I was actually just talking to someone who's recently gone through that, and their mindset shift is kind of getting in the way. So they're feeling like they're kind of drowning, because if we think about it, you've been used to going to work 9 to 5, you clock off, and sometimes you don't clock off because some work is extended. However, you don't have the responsibility of knowing when your next income is coming from. You don't have to check your accounts. You don't have to follow up with payments for whoever needs to pay you, you know? So it's that transition that takes time. But it's also understanding that you can do it, because you can do anything that you set your mind to do, and also being kind to yourself. Kind to yourself, because if you're not kind to yourself, then you won't see results. So be kind to yourself while you are learning to transition from full-time employment or whatever you were doing to entrepreneurship.
All right. And what are your empowering words for migrants who migrate, or expats who move to a different country? What are your empowering words? Because there will always be a difference in the culture, in the place and people and all of that.
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So that's an African proverb I believe in. Try to find their place in the community. So start by networking, whether they've moved to a different country for work, or they found themselves in a different country like me with no one. I basically knocked on different doors and started finding my way in the community. So that took time. Again, patience is very important, and never give up, never give up.
That's awesome, Marwa. I completely agree. And it's also about how you make an impact in your communities, and in whatever you're doing, how you share your knowledge. How are you helping people, or women, or even men in Australia, to elevate themselves to be the best version of themselves, right? How are you helping them build their business, or to make the migrant women more comfortable? What is that you're doing?
I'm basically helping various migrants with actually believing in themselves. I find that a lot of migrants lack the self-belief because of what they faced during the first years of transition to a new country. And they just feel like whatever they've worked for in the past hasn't been recognized. And so that in itself causes a problem with their self-confidence. I help with the image consultations, whether it's their image online or in person, their space consultation, because we all know that the area we work in actually has a huge effect on how we produce work. So there's a few areas I help migrants in, and it's not just migrants, it's basically anyone going through some sort of transition or transformation in their life. So I help them see and achieve what their life could look, feel, and sound like once they start believing in themselves and pushing forward.
Marwa, I want to ask you, what are your golden nuggets to mothers, who want to do something, start something, and also balance their life?
So I would tell them to just go for it, especially mothers with young children. They usually feel like they can't start a business and have children, but they really want to start a business and they have that idea and they know it's going to work. So I tell them to get over that fear and start their business. All they need is a computer and internet, and they can start from home, start small, and then grow big, and not to feel guilty, because a lot of mothers, and especially mothers in business and mompreneurs, feel guilty for starting a business and not looking after the children. And that is easily overcome by actually spending quality time with your children. You can, again, it's about balancing, but quality time is important with your children, but also getting your children on the ride with you. So letting your children know that mommy will be working. You can sit here and watch me, especially if they're toddlers. I mean, they probably need more attention, but if they're older kids, they start understanding, and to them, seeing their mother work in something she loves and seeing the achievements she achieves actually empowers them to go out into the world and know that the world is their oyster, really. I've personally seen this happen with my own children and seen the impact. The more I've took myself out of my comfort zone, whether I applied for an award, whether I spoke on stage and they saw it, it was very empowering to them. And that in turn affects their studies as well. So don't be afraid. You're a role model. Get out there and get doing what you were meant to do.
Awesome, Marwa. I think those were very empowering and encouraging words to all the mothers out there. And I really honor your time today for taking some time and being here. It's a pleasure having you in my conversation, Marwa.
Thank you so much, Bhavani, for having me. That was great.
Thank you, everyone, for watching this, and have a pleasant day ahead.